right, welcome on board, people. It's Spring Trends right here on Western Spring Television. This is where we look into what's trending on social media, trying to see stories that have been able to make their ways to the social media and that has got people talking. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei, and of course, you know I do not do this alone. Femi's here.
The trending Femi Ojo is there.
All right, it's just that you have not been able to trend. Why? I really want one day where I will come on board and we will take your news.
The issue is not just about trending, it's about trending rightly, for the right reason.
When is your birthday?
That will be in August.
Ah, that's so far. I would like to say we are going to make you trend on your birthday.
Okay.
At least for that. Let's make you trend on that. All right, people, you know how we do. We take on stories, take reactions from social media, and Femi here will help with the analysis. And the very first story that I will be taking is the documentary done by the BBC on the late T.B. Joshua, the former senior prophet of the Synagogue Church of All Nations squad. And it has actually got people talking. You know, the BBC said he bought the old system, and they have uncovered new evidence. Nigerian megachurch leader T.B. Joshua hid dead bodies and intimidated families to cover up his role in the collapse of a building which killed 116 people at his church in 2014. If you have watched that documentary, it's so long, about 3 hours or so. We have people talking to issues, what they actually went through in his church. Some called it a cult. Some said they were abused, you know, sexually. They were abused violently. We had his alleged daughter, Ajoke, also said his father also abused her. These and many more on social media. People are talking. Now let's get the reactions now. At Temi Ponle says, my question is, why now? And this is the big questions on the lip of people. Why after his demise? Why are we having this documentary now? But then, you know, let's say when a victim wants to talk, anytime the victim talks is the right time. You cannot push someone to say something when they are not yet able to. The next reaction I'm going to be taking is from Atkwem Maye. It says, Nigerians hate the truth, and it is not their fault because their leaders are a bunch of liars. I see people asking why now, and some saying it is not adding up. Does it really matter? Dead or alive, these are the things he did, and they are victims speaking out. None of your concerns matter. People are speaking their truth here. Wake up and stop getting used to being used or lied to by your government and the so-called men of God. So I'm just going to be taking Femi right on here. Femi, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think I'd like to start that by saying we are talking about something serious here, something very deep. Yeah, because you see through that documentary, people's evidence, their truth, actually, that's their truth. And many of them spoke to years of abuse, by the way, verbally, sexually being harassed, and by the way, an acclaimed daughter of the prophet as well spoke to that, verbally abused and flogged, left in a room for months, you know, mentally deprived, you know, due to some of the things that have happened. And somebody asked, that first we talk about why now? I like to ask, why not now? That's the question. Why now? Valid, by the way, but why not now? Truth, by the way, for what it is, not people's truth. The truth can come out at any time. So it doesn't really matter. But it's valid to say as well that in as much the BBC were interested in this documentary, or maybe they asked people to speak to them and they went into this documentary, why didn't they do that while the man was alive to defend himself? But then there was a caveat put at the end of each of because it's a three-part series, by the way, to say it was the week that those people started talking that the prophet died. Now, either it's true or not, that will be seen by the people and be spoken to by the BBC as well. But then you speak to system and how we do things rightly here in Nigeria. And you know, the issue of religion is quite a sensitive one, that you don't just want to say things for saying it. You could get people, you know, angry, excited, destabilized. We are quite emotional when it comes to issues of religion here. And they spoke to that issue of the collapse of the building that killed, officially speaking,
in 2014.
Yeah, 116 people. But one or two of those persons who said they were his boys who served them, said there were more than that. That in the middle of the night, that many dead bodies were carried away to unknown destinations. But one thing is this: there was a coroner's inquest, because the prophet claimed that there was hovering of a particular aircraft minutes or hours before that building collapsed. But that the coroner's inquest didn't talk about hovering of any aircraft, that it was a building defect, that building, the foundation was not made to carry as much floors as it was added. And the coroner's inquest said the leadership of the church should be held accountable. But till now, that the man never appeared at any of those hearings, by the way, till the cases died down.
Even the compensations, we had one of the victims also speaking to compensation that, she lost a child in that particular collapse. Until date, nothing has been done about compensation.
And another person in that series said money was brought for them, and they were asking what for. And they were said, they were told that it's just, just to help the matter, that some of them rejected the money, and then a voice note of the prophet allegedly was played for them, harassing them that you cannot just speak bad about a prophet. And it's a whole lot that I think the people in government should be interested, so that we take away the sentiment and really look into the core of the matter. It might be rightly, these things might be right. It might be the truth. And it might just be something that is far from the truth. But I think the authorities of Nigeria should really look into the matter. But why now? I'm saying, why not now?
And I should put that this is not the first time that Prophet T.B. Joshua would have been alleged of some, some things that are not palatable to the ears. And oftentimes he has always stayed silent about these allegations.
And
he
in fact,
doesn't respond to these allegations.
I'd like to add, before we leave this point, that BBC added that the church was consulted with these facts, with the documentary, and the church said it's not the first time that people come up with these kind of allegations that were never substantiated. So, QED.
All right, let's move on to our next story for today. And the next story for today is centered around the recently dismissed FCCPC CEO, Mr. Babatunde Irukara. And, a lot of Nigerians have been speaking since that dismissal statement came out, signed by the special advisor to the President of Media and Publicity, Evelyn Ohiolei. Then the president has dismissed the...
Please add a chief. He's a chief, please. Chief Ajuri.
You like too much title in Nigeria.
That's what he calls himself.
Evelyn Ohiolei saying that the FCCPC boss, Irukara, and the BPE boss have been, in the person of Alexander Oko, have been dismissed. And some Nigerians have an issue with that word dismissal.
The use of the word.
But then let's see what people are saying on social media. At Musbao CEO says, shocking to have Babatunde Irukara of FCCPC Nigeria sacked a few days after Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission fines British American Tobacco $100 million for infringement. This man is a real performer. All the best, Tunde Irukara. And we have at Emiola Z saying, I find the usage of the word dismiss as a disservice to the good work Mr. Babatunde Irukara has put into the running of the FCCPC. This man has helped to shape the public perception on the FCCPC. I hope whoever picks up the ball from where he has stopped. And at Musbao CEO still saying, those loan apps that harass people will be happy that their tormentor, Babatunde Irukara, has been sacked. I hope he gets a higher appointment. And at Derry Singh Son 7 says, top leaders in Nigeria doesn't want the best to deliver what they have in them. Femi, I'll first ask you this question. What should the word have been? I mean, people have an issue with the word dismissal, sack. Yeah. What should the word have been? Because it wasn't like he was found guilty or culpable of a crime. You understand? It's just that the president wants to rejig that particular agency.
All right. I think there has been a correction, so to say. By last night, there was a statement from Bayo Onanuga to say the right word was relieved of his duty. That it was Ajuri Ngolale, the spokesman to the president, who used the word dismissed. But Bayo Onanuga, yesterday, part of the cabinet, has said the right word that is apparent, and it has come to them that the word dismissed is sounding derogatory to them. And Bayo Onanuga officially spoke to say it was relieved of his duty, because dismissal only comes when somebody has done something untoward.
It's a dent on his image.
Yeah, dismissed is when you have been found culpable in a particular thing and then you are told to go unceremoniously. That's the way, but that's not the way it worked for Irokera. In fact, many persons, if it allows for people to carry placard for Mr. Irokera, people would do so to say, this guy is really doing well. And the first tweet talked about maybe because the FCCPC fined British American Tobacco $100 million, and the result is what we are seeing now. I take that as mere conjectures. Many things really happened. But then Bayo Onanuga has come out to say he wasn't dismissed. He was relieved of his duty. And this speaks to the naivety of Ajuri Ngelale. Possibly he's new on the job, and possibly a kind of exuberance is still playing out with him. Many persons have sent this line and say, guy, you really need to calm down.
I mean, coming from a chief.
And that's it. Chief don't talk anyhow.
That's on a lighter note anyway.
Please calm down. Be sure. Zeal is good, but wisdom is better, because that particular word is a dent on the good work that this man has done. And many persons are saying, I think a tweet reflected that to say maybe there's something bigger coming for Irokera as well. But being as it may, is somebody that people have loved the way he worked. Same thing with the man at the BP, but Irokera was a shining light. He is a shining light. And so that word dismissed doesn't really cut it at all. And it's a good one to know that the government has also come out through Bayo Onanuga to say it was only relieved of his duties.
I mean, when I heard the news, my mouth was like, Irokera.
Dismissed.
You know, I once met the man.
And no allegation.
I once met the man once, and I tell you that he knows what he is doing. He's a fine gentleman that actually knows what he is doing. When it's business, he talks business, and he understands. He kind of understands this agency and knows what and what to do to ensure that he gets the best of the job.
You said he's a fine man, like fine.
No,
literally fine.
No, but really, he's literally fine. He's so tall. I stood beside him. I'll show you the picture. I stood beside him, and I was just by his waist. He's such a tall man.
Like literally fine.
And he is a fine,
that's what I want to confirm,
handsome gentleman. Femi, you don't have to get jealous.
Good. And somebody spoke
it's
about...
It's so obvious Irokera is a fine gentleman.
And somebody spoke about the loan apps, that they will be... the guys with the loan apps will be better. But then the thing is, some of you people who take loan from these apps, learn how to pay back. Because nobody will harass if actually you pay.
Exactly.
Until your father, your mother, your girlfriend, your wife is being called to say, do you know this person is a kidnapper?
He's a chronic debtor. All right, that's on the lighter note. Pay your loans
when
back.
You get a loan, try and pay.
Yes, so we move on to the next story for today. On Monday, we brought to you the story of a soldier insulting the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for arresting another soldier who was driving against the traffic. He was on a one-way road, and the governor actually ordered his men to arrest him. And we had that soldier and a couple others who actually came out to speak against the governor, calling him unprintable names, accusing him of all sorts. And now we have the Chief of Army Staff responding to all those shenanigans coming from the quarters of the army, and he has been able to say, you know what, out of all of those people that I've been talking, we only have one person that we can confirm is a soldier. And I listened to him talk, and he said that the army definitely is looking into the issue, and also the man who the governor arrested has also been taken in at their own side, because definitely he cannot be tried as a civilian. He has to be tried as a soldier. So let's see what people are saying about this. I'm going to social media platform X now at Mr_Jags says, update. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja condemns Verbal attacks on Governor Sanwo-Olu over arrest of soldier riding Okada on one way. The COAS says the Nigerian Army will not condone indiscipline of its officers and confirmed that the soldier that made the video against the governor has been apprehended. And we have at Olajide 64 saying right steps in the right direction. At Oni Crown says, to all the people who cheered on the soldier that made that video, I hope you're prepared to step up and offer him a job once he's dismissed by the Nigerian Army. And lastly, at IM_Alhaji Kudus says, congratulations, Mr. Sanwo-Olu, and kudos to Nigeria Army. Femi, your own take on this matter?
Yeah, I think it was quite naive on the part of that young soldier to have said those things that he said. And by the way, let's start from what General Lagbaja said, that many persons in uniform have spoken on the matter, and they could only identify one person as their own, that young officer. And, you know, he has been identified. When you listen to what that young officer said, it was quite, you know, this is naive. This is somebody speaking like an untrained fellow. You don't do that. The choice of words were brutal, like somebody speaking, and he was with the uniform. So I wonder, this guy wasn't smart. You don't do that. Did you get clearance before you are saying these things? There's a way these things work. Even some of us that were outside the army at the uniform, at least for now, this, you know, there are ways things are done. You just don't come and then calling governor.
Governor. For now, are you saying you hope to join the army soon?
Let's stick to the matter.
All right.
You know, that's why I said for now, it's quite naive of him to make all kinds of derogatory statement against the person of the governor who is just trying to enforce the law. Maybe he too said something that wasn't gubernatorial, if I may want to use that. Yes, but then it's not in your place. You have boss, and bosses, lots of them. So who are you that you went to the social media space to bring out your phone on Obasanjo's internet and speak to those things that you talked about?
What's Obasanjo's internet?
Yes, you know, that's the way you are talking about Twitter now. Twitter people know that that's the way these things are referred to. But I think all the young soldiers we learn from that and know that there is a way to handle these things. But that doesn't mean that the freedom of speech is not guaranteed. But anybody in uniform knows that you don't behave the way other civilians do.
All right. When you said you will learn, one figure came to my mind who is actually so popular on the social media platform X that you referred to as Obasanjo's internet. You said you will learn. Don't play, you learn. And we hope you are already learning, but then, you know, a whole lot now. We have more soldiers using the social media and also speaking when they are not supposed to speak.
Yeah.
This will be dealt with. Let's move on to our next and final story for today. And this story is centered on the numero uno, the number 1, 001 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And there are commendations coming to the president at this time for the slash of the expenditure of all official travels, both domestic and international, by 60%. Now we have foreign trips. As the president, he is entitled to travel with just 20 persons. The vice president is entitled to only travel with 5 persons. And the first lady is also entitled to travel with just 5 persons. And for local trips, the president is entitled to just 25 persons as entourage. The vice president is entitled to 15 persons. Then the first lady is entitled to 10 persons, just these 3 persons. So what we want to ask, when a minister is going on a trip, how many persons is the minister entitled to actually pick up? Or is it just the minister alone that should go on that trip?
I think there's a place for the ministers as well, not captured
in the street.
Maybe 2 persons or there.
All right, so if the president is going with 20 persons and it actually has to do with the minister, so the minister goes on with also his 2 persons.
No, I'm not sure that's what it works. In as much you are traveling with the president, you are traveling as a person. But when you are traveling as a minister on your own, maybe that's when you have the opportunity of taking a couple of people with you.
All right, so let's quickly look at the comments here. At Vive's Corner _ says, whose report shall we believe? Truth is, cutting the cost of governance in Nigeria is not about the number of aides who travel with the officials. First, it has everything to do with reducing the number of appointments whose roles are clearly overlapping or not needed. And at Deji _Dokun says, this is highly commendable. We have Bosun _Big Fish say it remained to slash their monthly income. Femi, very quickly.
Yeah, I'd like to start from here. It will be a work on development if actually we hear today that public office holders, especially at the federal level, will slash their income. The total package, by the way, not just that 1 million that they talk about, 50%. And they walk the talk, not just tell us. It will be a huge relief for people to know that at least we are heading somewhere. But speaking about this slash in the contingent, it's not just the expenditure, the contingent, because the contingent that spends the money as well. But I think is just like many persons have said, we're starting somewhere. But it's not the in thing. Let me state that. It's not the in thing. There are many things that can be done that will really make a big statement. But then maybe we just have to start somewhere. And that is good to know as well. Now, speaking about the number of persons that can travel with the First Lady, I think that's where the issues will be. Because we see when First Ladies travel, especially to flamboyant events, you see all the wives of governors follow them. Does that mean she has to cherry pick, or any governor's wife that wants to follow her
will be on the expense
of their own expense? Yeah. That's something that we have to clarify. And lastly, who monitors? We've had something like this before severally. Who monitors? Will I ask Femi Ojogo and say, guys, how many of you are in the plane? That is the workability of such pronouncement is the real thing. But then that's the way to go.
Okay.
We're starting somewhere.
We're starting somewhere, Femi Ojo says, and that is where we draw the curtains for this show today. Spring Trend will make a return tomorrow by 8:30. Ensure to still make it a date with us. Femi, thank you so much for your great analysis on the show this morning. My name is Evelyn Ojo. Really? Evelyn Ohiolei, that's my name, not Ojo.
Not to hear
Scratch that. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei. Femi, stop this.
Okay.
My name is Evelyn Ohiolei. You can catch a recap of this show on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television. Ensure to connect with us at different social media handles, X, Facebook, and Instagram at Western Spring Television. Until tomorrow, have for yourself a productive and good day. Bye-bye.